What if everything you believe you know was a lie you told yourself? What if you're not as smart as you think you are? Hard to swallow, right? But think about it. Maybe you've spent years convinced you understand things you barely grasp. Maybe you speak with confidence about topics you've only skimmed, and the worst part is that you don't even realize it, because there's a silent trap inside your mind, a psychological bias so insidious it can turn you into a fake expert, while robbing you of the chance to truly learn. Today you're going to uncover it. And let me warn you, what you're about to hear might make you more uncomfortable than you expect. You might think you're safe, more aware, more informed, more rational. But here's the truth. The Dunning-Kruger effect doesn't discriminate. It can trap anyone. You, me, anyone. Because it's not just about ignorance. It's about the illusion of competence. That strange phenomenon where the less you know, the more certain you feel. In a world overflowing with opinions, armchair experts, and 30-second truths recycled from social media clips, this illusion has become a silent epidemic. It doesn't just ruin conversations, it ruins opportunities, relationships, even entire careers. So today we'll explore why the least competent people often feel the most confident, while the most capable tend to doubt themselves. And you'll see how this isn't just a perception error. It is a deeply human bias that might be shaping and limiting at your life without you even noticing. So as we go deeper, keep this question in the back of your mind. Are you really so sure of what you know, that you'd bet your life you're not wrong? Pittsburgh, 1995. A man named MacArthur Wheeler walks into a bank in broad daylight. No mask, no gloves, nothing to hide his face. He calmly threatens the cashier, takes the money, and walks out. A simple robbery, except for one absurd detail. He truly believed no one would recognize him on the security cameras. Hours later, police arrest him. Wheeler looks shocked, almost offended. But I wore the lemon juice, he says. He was convinced lemon juice would make him invisible to cameras, because he had heard it could be used as invisible ink. His logic was flawless, at least to him. That ridiculous and tragic story caught the attention of two psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger. They asked a question that would change how we understand human ignorance forever. How can someone be so wrong, and yet so sure they're right? To find out, they ran several experiments. They asked groups of people to complete tests in logic, grammar, and humor. Then they asked each participant how well they thought they'd done. The results were clear and deeply unsettling. Those who performed the worst were the ones who overestimated their skills the most. Meanwhile, those who performed best underestimated themselves. The problem wasn't just lack of ability. It was that those with less knowledge also lacked the ability to recognize their own mistakes. They were trapped in a double illusion. They didn't know, and they didn't know that they didn't know. And here's where things get uncomfortable. This effect isn't limited to extreme cases like Wheeler's. No, it's everywhere. It's in family arguments where someone talks about economics without ever reading a financial statement. It's in people who think that watching 2 YouTube videos makes them experts in quantum physics. And maybe it's in you, when you speak with total certainty about a topic you've only touched on the surface. Look around you. The illusion of competence is everywhere. You see it in the politician who speaks with confidence about subjects he doesn't understand, yet his tone is so authoritative that people believe him. You see it on social media, in influencers giving investment advice without ever running a single successful business. You see it at work, when the most mediocre person in the room acts as if they're indispensable, talking loud, correcting others, radiating a confidence that isn't backed by substance. That's the poison of the Dunning-Kruger effect. The less people know, the louder they tend to be. And that noise doesn't just annoy, it persuades. Because confidence, even when it's empty, is convincing. The human mind is wired to trust those who sound sure of themselves, even when what they're saying is pure nonsense. Now be honest, do you really think you're immune to it? Think back to the last time you gave advice on something you didn't fully understand. The last time you jumped into a debate and spoke more out of pride than knowledge. Maybe you won that argument, but did you win because you were right, or because the other person got tired of arguing? Here's the disturbing truth. The Dunning-Kruger effect doesn't just feed ignorance, it protects it. When someone believes they already know enough, they stop learning. They close the door to curiosity, to humility, to the question that fuels all real growth. What if I'm wrong? And that's where mediocrity takes root, deep and quiet, disguised as confidence. This bias becomes an invisible cage. You think you're standing at the top of the mountain, when in reality, you're still on the first step. Meanwhile, those who truly know, the ones who doubt, who pause, who correct themselves, are often overshadowed by the ones who shout the loudest, not by those who are actually right. History is full of people who made catastrophic decisions, not out of evil, but out of blind certainty. They weren't driven by malice, but by the terrifying conviction that they were right. Think of political leaders who launched wars believing they'd be quick and easy, only to drown their nations in years of blood and chaos. Think of CEOs who ignored technical warnings because they knew better than the experts, and ended up destroying entire companies. Think of doctors who refused new evidence because their pride couldn't handle being wrong, condemning their patients to useless or harmful treatments. The pattern never changes. People with little knowledge, inflated by toxic confidence. They don't grasp the magnitude of their ignorance, and that's exactly why they think there's nothing left to learn. But this bias isn't just out there, in politics, science, or business. It's in your personal life too. It's in the partner who insists they know exactly who you are, but never truly listens. It is in the parent who imposes their worldview on their children without questioning the damage it causes. It's in you when you make impulsive choices simply because you feel sure, not because you've thought them through. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't a small psychological glitch. It's a mental epidemic, and the more power a person has while trapped in it, the greater the destruction they can cause. Because here's an uncomfortable truth. Ignorance with humility is harmless, but ignorance with authority is deadly. When the wrong people believe they have all the answers, the result isn't just that they ruin their own lives. They drag everyone else down with them. And the real question you should ask yourself isn't whether you know someone like that, but whether in some part of your own life, you've become that person without realizing it. It's easy to spot the Dunning-Kruger effect in others. It's much harder to see it in yourself, because when you're caught in this bias, your own mind becomes your defense mechanism. It convinces you that you're the exception, that you're the one who truly knows, that everyone else is simply wrong. But are they? If you really wanted to know whether you've fallen into this trap, you'd have to do something most people never dare to do. Test yourself. Not through opinions, not through what you feel is true, but through facts, challenges, and people who know more than you. People who won't hesitate to tell you when you are wrong. The first warning sign that you might be trapped is this. You hate being contradicted. You take disagreement as a personal attack instead of as an opportunity to grow. Second, you rely on vague phrases like, "I've always done it this way," or "it works for me," ignoring the fact that personal experience isn't universal truth. And third, you mistake talking a lot for knowing a lot. Here's the painful part. If you always feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably not in the right room. Or worse, you're the most ignorant one there, and you don't even know it. Breaking this pattern takes brutal honesty with yourself. The courage to say, "I don't know." The humility to ask for help. The willingness to learn even from people you dislike. Because the antidote to the Dunning-Kruger effect isn't collecting more facts. It's developing the awareness of how much you don't know. And here's the irony. The more you truly learn, the more you realize how small your island of knowledge really is, surrounded by an endless ocean of things you'll never fully understand. That's why true experts speak carefully, doubt themselves, and stay quiet when others shout. And that is exactly why the world often listens more to the ones who talk loud, not the ones who actually know. We began today with a simple but brutal question. Are you really so sure of what you know that you'd bet your life you're not wrong? We talked about the invisible thief who rubbed lemon juice on his face, thinking it would make him unseen. About the experiments of Dunning and Kruger that revealed a disturbing truth. The less capable people are, the more confident they feel, while the most competent are the ones who doubt themselves. We saw how this bias seeps quietly into your daily life, into arguments, decisions, your work, even the way you see yourself. We learned that ignorance by itself isn't dangerous. What's dangerous is ignorance with confidence, because when you don't know and admit it, you can learn. But when you don't know and think you know everything, you stop learning. You trap yourself in a comfortable lie, sinking deeper and deeper into mediocrity. Maybe you see this effect in others, but the real question is, in what part of your life are you so blind that you can even see your own blindness? You might not like the answer. It might make you uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the beginning of awareness. Because growth doesn't start with knowledge, and it starts with humility. Don't live your life convinced you're always right. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Seek out those who know more than you do, and have the courage to say, "I don't know," not as a sign of weakness, but as a declaration of strength. In a world full of loud voices and shallow certainty, true power belongs to those who stay quiet, listen, learn, and then speak with substance. If this message made you uncomfortable, good. That means it touched something real. Subscribe to keep hearing the kind of truths that shake you, the kind that wake you up. And remember, don't be afraid of being wrong. Be afraid of spending your whole life convinced you're always right.